Georgia. Heading to my board deliveries in the Atlanta metro area. Coming up on exit 147. Have about another 60 more miles to Atlanta to go. I will be spending most of the day today in the Atlanta metro area doing my deliveries. This is exit 147, Georgia 98, Commerce and Hayesville. So yesterday I talked about health and wellness, what wellness actually is. I did mention freedom from pain. I'm talking about physical pain, aches and pains that people are programmed to believe go with getting older. I was basically referring to that. I was not referring to pain in general, as stated in an earlier video, that pain is part of the spectrum of life. It's how we deal with it that's going to have a large impact on how things are going to go for us body-wise. And emotional pain is something we're going to feel. It's part of the spectrum of life, emotional pain and the stress that goes with that. And the pain I was referring to as being pain-free is I meant waking up in the morning. Wellness is waking up in the morning and feeling good every day, consistently. You don't need to take aspirin to relieve any kind of pain. You don't need physical pain, I'm talking about. So I'm summing up yesterday. Health, of course, is being free from disease, cancer, heart attacks, other types of ailments. Diabetes, I mentioned diabetes, there's an epidemic of that going on. Because my second wife had diabetes. The doctors actually tried to give her solutions and she'd get mad if the doctor told her what she could do to actually eliminate her diabetes, to get out of that state of health. She would get very angry. And that's what I'm saying. People don't really want to solve their problems out there. I'm not saying everybody, but it's the whole mentality of victimization. If you solve your problems, you're no longer a victim anymore. Then you've got control over your life. You're controlling things yourself. You're enjoying freedom. You're calling the shots. You're no longer a victim to anything. If anything does happen to you, you realize it's your own fault somehow, some way. You don't blame it on anything else. And that's a hard thing for many people to face. So that's summing up what I talked about yesterday. I'm going to talk about something else today. I touched on how my father left the family in the previous video with a lot of debt. He died last November. I did have a dream about him last night. He came into my dream, wanted me to wipe the slate clean, but not the whole slate, or a board, a blackboard with an eraser. He wanted me to wipe. There was a nice image in it. He wanted me to leave the nice image on the board, but wipe out everything else. So what comes to my mind about this dream? Well, I take it that I do believe the deceased do communicate with people in dreams. They come in your dreams because it takes them less energy to come in a dream rather than to totally materialize in front of you. That takes a tremendous amount of energy to do that. So instead, they'll just come to you in a dream and communicate with you like that. So I believe there was some communication there. Basically, I think what I get out of the dream is he asked me to wipe off that blackboard because he was begging me for forgiveness. He wanted me to forgive him for, it could be either leaving the family with the debt, it could be other things. I didn't really have the greatest relationship with him when he was alive. I'm sure you could probably glean out of my previous videos what I said. But I is not saying that because I have anything against him necessarily. I'm just providing what he actually did do. It's not that I really have anything personally against him. I have forgiven him. The parents do the best they can. Sometimes they do a great job, sometimes they don't. They're bringing us up. They do the best they can. He had his own issues. He lost his father, and I think I touched on that, I'm not sure. He lost his father at a very young age. His father died at a very young age. He died in his sleep. So that was likely a traumatic thing. So he probably feels I haven't forgiven him. It's not really true. I have, but I'm sure that he probably realizes somehow that I posted those videos, and he came to me in a dream. I interpreted it as that he was begging me to forgive him for what I described in those videos. I have forgiven him, but just because you forgive somebody doesn't mean that necessarily that you condone what they did. It just means that you let go of animosity. You realize that they did what they did. They were doing the best they can. They felt they were doing the best they can. At least, he was acting to himself in good faith. At least to himself he was. So I don't hold anything against him personally. I was not devastated by his death in any way last November, mainly because, for one, I didn't really have a close relationship with him. And not only that, but as I pointed out yesterday in my video, what would have been the point of him trying to hang on if he was having surgery after surgery on his leg, or amputated? They amputated his foot because it was going gangrene on him. And really, what kind of a life is that? I know I realized I pointed out that there was reasons for everything in yesterday's video. There's reasons why people, I'm pointing all this out because he appeared to be in a dream last night. I know yesterday I posted that video about the accident that he had. And in the very next night, he comes to me in a dream. So I take it that he somehow heard that video. And he's very sorry for it all. Feels really bad that he put everybody through all this, perhaps, now. And he wanted to come to me in the dream and beg me for forgiveness by wiping that blackboard. Yet, not all of it was wiped out. The nice images he told me not to wipe out, meaning that his message was that he wanted me to remember the good things he did. Still remember the positive things he did. So that's a lesson there with anything. You want to try to see the positive aspects to things. Even if it wasn't really great a situation. So that's what I get out of that dream. I was brought up to believe dreams are just fantasy, that they don't mean anything. I was in a religion that didn't really promote dreams for 25 years. They said dreams are meaningless. It's just a brain exercise. That's all they are. They don't really mean anything. But I know that's not really the case. Dreams are very important. They bring you important messages. If your mind is working, God will give you the interpretation of the dream to you. You won't have to ask anybody else. You won't have to look for advice. It will come to you. This is exit 137. I-85 south of Georgia, US 129, Georgia Highway 11 for Jefferson and Gainesville. Crawford W. Law Museum is off this exit. It's also a welcome center. So what were some of the in the dream, my father wanted me to leave positive on that board. Winter, 17 miles, Atlanta, 55 miles. So positive things on that board. What were some positive contributions he made? Well, he did work hard to provide for the family. Provided well, provided a really nice home. A lot of things in the home, worked hard, wasn't really physically abusive in any way. He tried to be a good citizen, tried to, he didn't have any substance abuse problems or anything. So, he did dote on my sister a lot. That was his little girl. They had a very close relationship. His sister was devastated when he passed on. I wasn't, but again, as I pointed out earlier, I ain't really getting to the second reason much, but the second reason, other than that I didn't have really that close of a relationship, was because I realized, and I got into it a little bit, but he decided to leave this reality. He didn't really want to stay in that condition any longer. He decided this was it. He was in his early 80s. He knew he was probably never really going to walk again after that surgery he had, where they cut off his foot, gangrene. He knew it was a losing battle to keep going. He knew it was just pointless, and I agree. Before it all happened, where he finally died last November, when he had that surgery, I realized to myself, what's the whole point of trying to stay here in this reality if you're going to live like that? And yet, many people wanted him to hang on and did not want to see him go. And that's understandable. But we have to look at things from his angle. If I was wearing his shoes, would I want to be here living like that, where I can't even walk, in pain, going to surgery after surgery? Would I want to keep living like that? I don't think so. So I was looking at things from his perspective, not necessarily my own, but I was looking at things from his perspective. I was putting on his shoes, and I was saying to myself, wouldn't I want to die if I was in that condition? Wouldn't I want to just say, that's it, I'm ready to opt out of this reality? This is just ridiculous. Probably realized he would have been a burden to others in the family. I'm looking at things from his perspective. I'm looking at things from how he likely saw them, from his own perspective, his own viewpoint. Not everybody else's that wanted him to stay alive. Not saying that I wanted him to die. Death is not a pleasant experience, especially in that condition. Being racked with pain, internally bleeding, and horrible way to die. But I'm looking at things from his perspective. That's what really helps us to see the big picture on things. We look at things from other people's perspectives instead of always our own. Father was in bondage when he died, bondage to his leg condition, to the doctors, to the hospitals, to the insurance, what they wanted done. He didn't have mobility anymore. He was dependent on other people. Maybe initially that's what he ultimately wanted, but perhaps with time he realized what it was leading up into. I'm filling in some blanks here, I know. And maybe I'm filling them in correctly, maybe I'm not. That was the second reason, though. I wasn't devastated by his passing at all. I had my composure. Everybody else in the funeral was carrying on, breaking. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I wasn't. I felt strange that I wasn't carrying on like everybody else. I was his own son. Does that mean I didn't care about it? No, I did care a lot. I felt really bad for what he was going through. But I saw things from his perspective. He didn't want to suffer anymore. That was one reason why I was not devastated when it happened. It's not that I didn't care, it's not that I didn't have compassion. I had a lot of compassion. Somebody think, how could you not be devastated losing a parent? I'm not devastated because I see the big picture in it all. I know my father has left this reality, and I think that was a wise choice for him given the conditions that he was under. Again, from his perspective, I'm looking at it as if I was wearing his shoes. It's something that I probably would have done myself under those circumstances. Just to leave this reality and say, that's it, I'm done here. Exit 126, Georgia 211, Winter, Barrow County. Looks like they are widening this section of I-85 here, northeast of Atlanta. Definitely much needed with the volume this road carries traffic. It is an overcast day. The temperature is 68 degrees. It was a very hot day yesterday, traveling down to North and South Carolina. It did top out at 91 degrees. Don't think it's going to get quite that hot today. It is very overcast. So that is my what happened. To me, this whole experience of this dream shows that the departed may not necessarily be that far off. They're in another reality, but they may still be checking up on us. Like I say, I had that dream right after I posted that video yesterday. This is Gwinnett County, so we're coming into the northeast suburbs of Atlanta pretty soon here. Got this prime truck beside me that's got me into the left lane now, so I'm trying to get around here. The next, stay in this lane and block the traffic behind me. Here a little bit. Hopefully, they'll let me in front of him. Yeah, that experience, as I stated, I'm pretty sure that somehow he was monitoring me in the posting of that video. He felt bad about it. Somehow wanted me to forgive him. Thinking maybe I haven't forgiven him. I have forgiven him. I'm just posting my experiences on video. And I thought today I would share a couple of positive things that he did. I don't want to make it sound like he was the most horrible person in the world. He really wasn't. So that's pretty much all I've got to say about that dream. For now, I'm going to move on to something else. Just thought it was an interesting little experience. It just shows that the departed still do communicate with us many times through dreams. So also another thing I was thinking about getting out of the matrix and what that involves. And an illustration that comes to my mind is getting out of the Earth's gravitational field. When you blast off a rocket to get out above the atmosphere, you have to put on the full thrust to get out of the Earth's gravitational pull. Getting out of the matrix, to get out into the freedom of outer space, you have to really get out of gravitation. You have to. Being in the matrix is like being in the gravitation of the Earth. You're very limited. Your movement, as I stated in my previous videos, you have just enough to get by with. You're very limited. Yeah, going from that to being a lot less limited takes a lot of thrust initially. When I bought this truck to get myself out of the matrix, said I've touched on in previous videos, I had to sink a lot of money into this truck to get myself to the point where I am now. So I had to really turn on the thrusters to get myself out. The gravity was trying to pull me back at that point. So you have to really turn the thrusters on. You have to have enough fuel to get yourself. You're going to burn up a lot of fuel to get out of it initially. So to get out of the matrix, in the beginning, it's not going to be an easy process. It's not easy to get out of the pull of gravity if you're getting out into orbit. Initially, you have a lot of gravity to overcome. You need a lot of fuel to get yourself free of that. Then once you reach that point where you get out of the gravitational pull of the Earth, that's it. Everything gets easier. You begin to, then you only need just a little bit of thrust to get you somewhere, to propel you in another direction. You don't need much fuel anymore. You only have to burn up just a tiny bit to get your momentum going. When you're up out of the Earth's pull of gravity, is easier necessarily? Can things ever be too easy? Going back to my jigsaw puzzle illustration yesterday that I put out there, if the jigsaw puzzle is too easy, you're not really going to enjoy it as much. You need some challenges. To enjoy ourselves, we need to have challenges. If life is too easy, we're not really going to enjoy it much. Or if the video game is too easy, we're not going to enjoy it. Or